I'll enter month 1. You tell me about the affair. I'm crushed in disbelief. My wonderful, amazing wife, mother of my child, another on the way, would not do this to me. I feel disconnected from reality. You say, I want to be with you and work on things. I can't imagine being without you. Of course, I forgive you. I want to work through things too. Less than a week after you tell me, I wake up and you're gone. You've gone to visit him. You need closure. I'm at a loss but continue to push forward with marriage counseling. Month 2. By this point, you've reached out to him 4 times to my knowledge. I don't understand it. You want to work on things. It's all too much to handle emotionally. I broke you, and I can't fix you. I'm just too hard on me, you'd say. I'd swallow my hurt and try to take care of you. You're pregnant. We had lost a baby to miscarriage. My wife needs help. We spend the days together going places with our daughter every day. Anytime I talk about my emotions, I'm having a hard time today. I'm really struggling with the thought of XYZ. You pushing me away. Run away. I wake up to notes from you being gone. Month 3. I continue to find you talking to him. This man, who is apparently more lovable than me, 10 years your senior, with a half a dozen kids from several different women. A man who threatened me and your children if I ever told his longtime girlfriend about the affair. Apparently, he's just hard to let go of. I try to talk to you about the hurt. You tell me if I do, you'll hurt me worse. My only regret is that I didn't get to have sex with him more. Our daughter is born into this mess. Month 5. I go no contact. It seems to cause you to spiral. You want to work on things. Let's give it a go. I haven't been right in the head. I'm so desperate to be with the woman I love and believe that none of this is real. I agree. You move back home 2 weeks before Christmas. We have a wonderful couple of weeks. You don't want to go to marriage counseling anymore, but things seem to be going all right. The day after Christmas, I see that you've installed the Xbox Live app on your phone. You're messaging him on there now, since we changed your number. I ask you about it while you're in the shower. You lose it again. I go cry upstairs where you can't hear. I decide to take a shower. I hear my daughters crying hysterically. I come downstairs and you're gone. I manage to get a hold of you after 8 hours of being gone. You're not coming home for a while. You're going cold turkey on antidepressants. You don't want to live anymore. I call the police. You end up on the missing persons list. I spend 2 days, morning till night, looking for you. You turn yourself into the hospital. Month 6. You spend 10 days at the mental health facility. 10 days. I'm talking to you on the phone, taking care of our daughters, bringing our girl to sit in the parking lot outside the facility so that we can be on the phone, and you can see them, even if from afar. Hopefully my wife gets the help she needs in there. Everything is going to be okay. You come out of the facility and come home. You've made a bunch of unhealthy friendships in the facility. You're texting and calling people throughout the day that you met in there. But I let it be. You're out 2 weeks, and I come home from work long after you've gone to bed to find that you left your phone with the Xbox app open. A conversation between you and him again. You miss him. You have clothes that smell like him, that have slowly lost the scent, and that makes you sad. I'm so numb. I ask you to leave again. Month 7. Separation number 2. I want to work on this, but if you ever talk to him again, this is over. I say, let the separation begin. Less than a week into the separation, you're over at his workplace, the library. You're visiting the library with your new friend T from the mental health facility. I call you to ask what the deal is. You freak out at me. I'm not talking to the guy. How could you make such a big deal about this? I let it be. You come over on your birthday because I called you crying. I said this was hard and I didn't know if I could take it anymore. I need it to end. You come over with divorce papers telling me you always rush things, trying to force me to make a decision right away. I cry and say, why are you doing this? I still don't believe any of this is happening. You mock me, telling me, if you don't stop crying, I'm going to hit you in the effing face. You're a woman, and I can't imagine what people would do to me if I said anything like that to you. But when you say it, you're just going through a rough time. Month 8. I've been taking care of myself to the best of my ability. We're sharing the girls. You get half the week, and I do. It's hard. I love my daughters so much, and I hate being apart from them. We've been apart a full month, nearing 2 by the end of March, and you haven't been talking to him. You want to work on the marriage. I request that we move to a new city on the other side of the metro area to get away from all the painful reminders and to have a fresh start. You agree, and so we find a wonderful little house together to rent. Plus, you're pregnant. There's no way it isn't yours. Why would you even doubt that? Month 9, moving day. Your brother casually tells me as we're moving, she never stopped talking to him. I've blocked him on her Xbox Live. He keeps asking her to leave him alone, but she keeps sending him messages. I don't feel anything. Maybe he's lying. We're in our fresh start house less than a week. Our daughter is sick, and we're up taking care of her. I ask what time it is. You show me your phone, Xbox Live notification at 3 a.m. I don't care. This isn't real. I set my alarms for the morning. You see me on my phone and take it from me. I don't like you talking to people every time I make a mistake. I was just setting an alarm. 2 more weeks pass. I'm just trying to avoid you. You work days, I work nights. This isn't real life. We're putting the girls to bed. You look all dressed up to go out somewhere. You going out somewhere tonight? I need to get out of the house, you say. I guess I made the wrong face because you stormed out. I find you in the bathroom and ask if you're okay. You tell me you feel trapped, and I tell you I can relate. I explain that it sucks being cheated on, then having to take care of you, not getting to have my own hurt or emotions, chastised every time I feel something. You lunge from the bathroom, begin hitting me over and over. I fall on the bed. You turn off the lights and hit me more. I call the police. You go to jail. Your family calls me. You freaking idiot! What'd you do? What did you say to her to make her hit you? Now what, genius? She's in jail and it's your fault. I just cry. Eventually, though, I lay it all out and yell back. Of course, my mother-in-law doesn't mention all the awful stuff she said to me. She just tells everyone I yelled at her. My wife is out of jail now. The trial is next month. I still believe you have some sort of mental health problem. That's the only way this past year has made sense compared to the last decade. I found her crying in the closet. I asked what's wrong. You never apologize for calling the police on me. I'm shocked. She doesn't care about me one bit. She's cheated on me, verbally and emotionally abused me for nearly a year now, and physically abused me. She's crying not because she can't believe what she's done to me, but because I haven't apologized for sending her to jail. I talked to an attorney a little over a month ago. They want me to take everything you have you pay me alimony, child support, etc. I don't want any of that. I just want this to be over. I love my wife, or who I thought she was. I want to do everything I can to take care of my little girls, but I can't keep letting this go on. She doesn't care about me one bit. She's told me 1,000,000 times she doesn't love me. She doesn't even bother to pretend to say it anymore. I'm a big tattooed man being destroyed by a tiny woman. The only thing I ever wanted in my life. My wife, my family. You know it's all I want, and you hold it hostage over me. I don't want a divorce, but you've never apologized. Never stopped cheating, gaslighting, blame shifting. Never once actually cared. Save me. I'm in hell. Edit. The post is up for 5 minutes, and I'm already getting downvoted to hell. I know you probably all think I'm spineless. Probably right. It's hard accepting that the woman you've been madly in love with for a decade is a monster. Cut me some slack. Don't think on a support group subreddit I'd so quickly get crapped on for being open about being torn apart by someone you want to trust. Edit 2. I've read through as many of the replies as I can. I'm going to try to get back to a lot of you, and I appreciate the PMs of support as well. Last night, I sat down with her and went over the divorce papers and started filling them all out. I'm sticking to it, and if she won't do it amicably, which I'm sure she won't, then I'm going to resume activity with the lawyer. I know a lot will say just go to the lawyer now, but honestly, I'm broke. And the $3,500 for the retainer alone is somewhat out of my budget. My wife is a shopping addict, and we spent $10,000 throughout COVID on marriage counseling. Not to mention, my work has been impacted heavily due to COVID. Update 1. Truly, the end of the road. Today, I guess, was the final day. My daughter wanted to play on mommy's tablet before nap. I get her set up with the coloring app, leave her alone with the device for, I guess, too long, because she started opening other applications on the tablet. Usually she does it when she's bored of whatever she's playing and looks for other games. I go to close out the email app, but before I get the chance, I see a PayPal notification. Curiosity. I guess I opened it, and it showed a payment to her repair partner. She sent 2 payments totaling $165. She's at work. I asked her about it over the phone because we had talked earlier, and she knew I was irritated, but I hadn't explained why. She says, I sent him money because he got sent to jail over a fight between him and his significant other. They were fighting over my wayward spouse, and affair partner's relationship, and I felt responsible. I guess the money was for bail. After she said that, she sent me a series of texts saying, Nope. I told you my main reason for trying to sign the papers yesterday was that I wasn't going to allow me hurting you to continue. It's been one single day since then, and it's happened again. I have a list of 4 or 5 apartments close to work that are 1 bedroom. I'll move out once the papers are turned in so you can have the house and sleep in your bed again. I don't care who gets the chairs or the bookshelf. You can choose what you want more. I'll fill out the financial papers when I get home after I leave work at 4. For the record, since you say you're always unsure where we leave off, no marriage counseling, just plain divorce. I'd still appreciate being able to work tomorrow if you'll allow it. And just to clarify, when I said nope, I was not saying that the communication between me and the affair partner is ongoing. The affair has been over, and now so is the marriage. I will be alone. Do not worry that your kids will have a new stepdad. I will be alone. So I guess that's where my journey with our surviving infidelity ends. I guess maybe I'll post an update once the paperwork is submitted, and then once again. 91 days later. Presently, I'm sad, but more than anything, numb. I love my wife. I worked as hard as I could for 9 months on our marriage. I was always holding out hope that there was going to be some sort of come-to-Jesus moment where she realized and took accountability for her actions. Thank you for your support. I hope that those of you who read this and are working on reconciliation with your spouses, the absolute best in your journey. I know there's a lot of hurt and, at times, negativity or maybe just realism posted on this sub, but don't let it discourage you from working on your marriage if you have a spouse that genuinely recognizes and is taking accountability for their actions. The best to all of you. Edit. I forgot she had written a hate mail that I'm sure was directed at me. I did not read it, but she obviously knew I was in her email. It started with F you and everything you stand for. If you were in front of me on your knees. And that's as far as the email preview showed because I'm not clicking on or reading that crap. I wish my wife loved me, man. Edit 2. There is some justice in the world. The affair partner got arrested because he and his wife were fighting over the affair, but he also had 2 outstanding warrants in other states. A buddy from my church is a correctional officer and ended up running his info a long time ago. At the beginning of this, it looks like somebody forgot to register as a sex offender. Final update. An update to my update, the trilogy. Today was hard. I know a lot of you PM me, telling me I need to grow a backbone or whatever. Regarding that, crap is hard. I made a vow to a woman I love to spend my life with her, and I have, at this point, explored every option before I end my marriage. With that said, I woke up today and took the divorce papers that we both filled out 2 days ago to the courthouse. She was there when I arrived. I talked to her in the car. I don't want to get divorced. I want to work on our marriage. I don't like being touched by you and have a hard time being around you, but I don't want our marriage to end. Her words summarized. I told her that if she had come there to stop me, telling me you don't like being around me and so on is a sorry way of doing it. She said, I came down here to stop you. But before I cut her off and said, you came down here to stop me, but now it's too late, right? You would have, but now you won't. And then proceeded to go into the court, only to find out I was in the wrong one. A new city. Recent move equals confusion. An hour later, I'm at the right building. She's there again. This time, she's in my truck, crying and telling me she's sorry and wants to work on her marriage. I tell her that I need to say a few things, and then I'll hear what she has to say. I talk about how she claims she's been working on things but clearly hasn't, since only managing to go a week, 2 weeks without talking to the affair partner isn't working on things. If she wanted to save her marriage, she'll actually commit to change because her actions don't match her words. She cuts me off a number of times and says, in tears, she's sorry to cut me off, but if I don't, you'll talk forever. And you talking about all the bad stuff that has happened just feels like condemning me. I express that both my words and my actions over the last 9 months have been clearly the words and actions of forgiveness, just hoping to restore our marriage. I start laying down my boundaries. She's mad. She says our marriage won't work if we have all these rules. I tell her these aren't rules. These are boundaries, and without them, any hope of recovery isn't going to work. I explain my boundaries are simple, and there are only two. 1. No more contact with the affair partner. If he reaches out to you by email, text, Insta, carrier pigeon, or you run into him at the store, no contact. She got in to say she would do whatever it takes to prove she's not in contact with him anymore. 2. The emotional abuse needs to stop. No more saying you want to work on things and then, at the first conversation that mentions any mistakes you've made, say, "This isn't working, we're getting divorced," and chastise me for having emotions. At the mention of the second boundary, she said, "Well, this just isn't going to work then." Immediately stopped crying and got out of my truck and into her car. It's a freakish thing seeing someone that started out a conversation on their knees begging you while sobbing, did not submit to divorce paperwork, so suddenly stop crying and go full stone face. Long story short, I went into the courthouse, filed the paperwork. A few missing signatures led to me calling her to come back, and after everything was properly filled out, that paperwork has been filed. So now begins the 91-day wait period. I'm disappointed because, again, I was hoping that she genuinely wanted to work on the marriage, and this was the rock bottom, Hail Mary, final play of the game thing that made her come to her senses. It wasn't. In closing, today is a numb day, but on the off chance that homeboy reads this, or more so, just to get it off my chest. Edit. There's a number of you that have felt compelled to call out my intentions here. There are unfortunately even more of you that have felt compelled to send quite a number of private messages, beta cuck, spineless, etc. This last year has been hard. We had a miscarriage shortly after, got pregnant, and had a new baby. There was a close personal death on both sides of the family. I understand a number of you won't agree with how long I hung in there trying to work on the marriage. My intro into being a betrayed spouse was my wife telling me, "I've been disassociating from reality. I'm scared. I need help. I've been having an affair." Yesterday, it became physical, and I had a panic attack. I need help. My worldview up until this point on mental health has been very limited. Previously, I've believed depression, in the clinical sense, to be a myth, and anxiety to be for people that can't handle real life. I believed it all to be a fabrication, really. So suddenly, I'm submerged into this world of therapy, trying to understand mental health, break down my former incorrect assumptions. I know now that my wife is in control of her decisions regardless of whatever potential condition she suffers from. I know that despite my best efforts to love and take care of my family through her mental health crisis, she is not beyond taking accountability for her actions. My wife does this intentionally. This has been a twofold learning curve. Hate on me all you want, but I've been doing the best I can. One of my greater fears in the beginning was that I would end my marriage and leave my spouse in the middle of a mental health crisis, needing help and support. But regardless of whatever potential conditions she may or may not suffer from, she is aware of her actions and is capable of holding herself accountable. Now that I've gotten a good education in things previously unknown, I am taking the appropriate course of action. Divorce papers have been